Invictus, my kings, and welcome back to the Slavicus Maximus channel. And today we are starting a new series. What if Russia existed in 1444 in EU4? Yes, we are playing as United Russia. Obviously, I started up as Muscovy, and I, through the console, annexed all the various Russian princedoms and the Russian states around us, and we will now begin what is hopefully what it will be a very interesting campaign. We are going to play as Russia, or Muscovy, but a united Russia. Let's check the Russian ideas. Our Russian tradition give us national manpower modifier plus 33% and core creation cost minus 15%. And obviously we have all these various Russian ideas, but we won't really be unlocking them until we get our first idea set. So that's for another time. So let's complete the setup over here. Let's merge all of our units. Let's do the setup of the estates. Let's get rid of this one. That's a very terrible privilege. And let's get the standard stuff going. Let's get religious diplomats. Let's get no religious culture really. We could get expansion as zealotry. That wouldn't be too bad. Although, I don't know, let's go clerical ministers. Although expansion as zealotry would be useful, especially throughout the entire game, because we're not gonna necessarily go up against any orthodox nations around us, especially not with the various Russian states being annexed into our domain. Let's get increased levies and supremacy over the crown. It's gonna be good. For the burghers, promote burghers bookkeeping, burghers financial demand. And let's see, probably just free enterprise and also indebted to the burghers. Very much that's going to be very useful indeed. For Cossacks, probably just Cossack leaders and Cossack self-governance. That's going to be very useful. We also have the modernization mechanic activated, but I think that's something for a much later down the line. We're not going to be really benefiting from that at all. Not for a long while anyway. Formation of the Russian Empire. Now that's way off, but we can probably get... actually, we should probably... we have 29 out of 59, so something with 30 units. That's probably the independent army. Let's get the independent army going. It's going to be very useful, and then we can... The subject is Muscovy, yes, of course. It's going to be nice, but let's... I think we already have the claims because I formed Russia with a mod. So we already have a bunch of claims. So we should probably start the war with Kazan as soon as possible, because we want that gold mine. Yes, we want the gold mine. It's going to be very very useful. So let's build spy network. We won't necessarily be needing any allies or anything of the sort. Let's play ally-less for a little while, and we can also get founded Tsardom. Sure, why not? Sure, why not? And yeah, let's turn it up to our speed 4 and let's go. We should have the ability also to recruit some production efficiency is going to be good. Improve relations, no, probably not. Spy network construction and land force limit modifier. Although first, before I get that, I would like to complete the mission, the rally the army. And let's get diplomat +1 core creation cost minus 15, and we're not gonna bother with any other let's actually get the plus discipline one. And we are losing from army maintenance quite a lot of money, but that's completely fine. It is completely fine. because we will very shortly invade Kazan. Let's actually lower the corruption route out. Maybe only half. We actually have a lot of corruption for some reason. I don't know why. We have a lot of okay, so the yoke, the Tatar yoke has been removed. Very good. Let's get our generals going. And let's get, probably not ruler, probably don't need the ruler to have military command just yet. And we will immediately go against Kazan. They are allied to Crimea and Uzbek. But doesn't matter, Kazan is going to be the target. And let's start this war. We have a much, an obvious numerical superiority to them. So that's going to be mighty useful. Let's see how things develop, but I think we should be Kingdom of Italy and the Empire. Okay, we should be relatively fine. Also, let's start converting. Eventually I'm gonna become the defender of the faith, but I don't want to get dragged into a war between the the Byzantines and the Ottomans. I really don't want that sort of war. That's just going to be a massive headache for me, and I really don't want anything of the sort. So we'll let that pass us by. Let's get a nice combat in right now. There we go. Wipe that army. We have not necessarily a huge amount of manpower because obviously I didn't cheat in more manpower. Maybe I should have. But with our bonuses that we get from the Russian ideas, we have more manpower anyway. So it's not like we're gonna be lacking any kind of manpower superiority at all. Let's see, can we go for this one stack? Yes, we can. So let's go for the one stack. And what I'm gonna be aiming to get out of Kazan in this peace deal is probably something like this. Possibly split him in half as well. Yes, that's probably gonna be the most, or maybe even something like this, just to completely cut them off from any sort of possibility of them getting reinforcements or anything of the sort. Let's see, we should win this combat. Yep, there we go. And yeah, so this is gonna be a sort of steady progress until we win. And serve the peasants or do not. You know what? I'm probably going to enserve them for a little while. The peasants will rise up against Russia. Oh well, what can you do? The peasants will just have to wait for a more opportune moment to rise up. But I think that for the time being we're doing relatively good. I think I'll come back once this little bout is finished. This was the prestige, we didn't need it as much. And 14 regiments, okay. Well, we're gonna go with our army and crush those 14 regiments then. The 14 regiments are over here, so let's go. Hopefully the independent army will be able to siege Kazan down. That will be very useful. But we are now, yes, we have in early serfdom. Very eventually, I will get rid of it. But serfdom for the early game is very useful because it gives you a lot of manpower, and manpower is what we need right now, so manpower is what we're gonna go for. And yep, there we go. Can we peace out Uzbek? No, we can't peace out Uzbek yet, but very soon we will be able to. I'll probably allow my two actual armies to sit back and relax a little bit and do some fighting with the independent army. We should probably have a much bigger advantage compared to our enemies on the battlefield, and we should crush them completely. Yes, indeed, that's what's happening. That's what's gonna go on. We will continue crushing our foes. And this looks like a sticky situation, but we managed to pull it out in the end. Okay, I'll come back once the war is finished. Alright, there we go. The war has been officially won. So let's go for a peace deal like this and let's ask for some money. There we go. Now let's get rid of the... mercenary company core, everything that's gonna be able to record, equip the Strelci, and let's support Oprichnina. And we can accept Relic as whatchamacallit, as a culture, and we can get back to business with our armies. I forgot to seize land, actually. That's something we should do. But let's seize land, and too few rivals. Let's see, Poland and France. Sure, let's rival Poland and France. I wonder, yes, Lithuania is a junior partner of Poland. That's going to be a big thorn in our side for a very long time. But let's see, why are we losing money? Root out corruption and fort maintenance. Well, let's get rid of some forts. We definitely don't need all of them. Let's see, this fort is kind of pointless. This fort right next to Moscow, so we probably don't need two forts right next to each other. These forts, all of them are relatively good, but we probably don't need the one in Luki. Actually, we probably do need the one in Luki, but we do not need the one in Pskov. And let's get root out corruption to the max right now. And let's wait around. Our next target should be, well, it should be the Great Horde, shouldn't it? We have claims on the Great Horde. We'll go for the Great Horde, and then we will go for Crimea. But let me actually check the setup of our merchants. We probably want to collect from the Novgorod trade node. And let's also send our ships, the light ships, to protect trade in Novgorod. That should be and let's get the special, the special fleet setting thing, and let's get down to business. So what are we looking at financially right now? Advisors maintenance. Yeah, we don't need this expensive advisor anymore. We can get rid of him. And we probably can't justify the level to a mill 1. And we should probably get rid of this. And there we go. We are making money officially. We are making money. Only a little bit, but still making money. And we are also, okay, Circassian wants an alliance. That's very good, but we probably want to vassalize them, to be honest. Same with Georgia. We would probably want to vassalize them as well, and also Theodoro. But they don't want. Let's just ally them for the time being, and then eventually we will probably vassalize them. We can't actually ally Byzantium. Why? Because of distance between borders, so we're too far away. So once we go for the Great Horde, once we crush the Great Horde, who are they ally with? Dulkadir and Uzbek. Uzbek again, that's going to be a big pain. What about Nogai? We do have some claims on Nogai. They're with Gazi, Kumuk, Ajam, and Mogulistan. Now that's going to be a pain to get through. The Livonians, let's see, if we declare war on the Livonians, we do have a slight numerical advantage against them, so we should probably put it to good use and get ready to go against the Livonians just very shortly. We could also get a new, we should probably get a new regiment for the, for this army. Yes, inflation. Very sad, very bad. Inflation, what can you do? But we are actually making relatively decent amount of money at the moment. From gold, trade, production, taxation, that's going to be very good. But we also will get this gold mine up and running very soon. Kazani separatists, yeah, that's going to be a bit of an issue. Let's purge them. No, let's purge them, whatever. We're probably going to have to wait then Let's not get too hasty and get into war while we can't necessarily justify it. Ducats, Oprechina progress. Let's go for this. Let's actually go and crush the rebels. So for the time being, we will chill out for a little while. But let's see, Vyatka, that's copper, so we should probably want to go for base production. For a little while, we'll probably chill around until we replenish our manpower and we actually manage to get the gold mine up and running. And then we'll go either for the Great Horde or for the Livonian Order. We'll see how things go. That's interesting. We actually got an offer to sell us the province of Eglino, so this province for 200. Sure, let's go. We got a free province out of that. We can core it up, no problem. Come on, we can core it up, no problem. Why is the button not appearing? But whatever, let's make core out from here. And yeah, we got a new province for 200 ducats. Yes, 200 ducats. No ducats or duckaroos, just ducats. Alright, we got the last jousting tournament. They're still in military level 3. We are in military level 4. So it's time to go for a war against the Great Horde. Let's mobilize everyone. We call them Theodoro just because I want to make them a vassal of mine. And I think we'll manage to accomplish that after this war. I think that's gonna be fine. But Theodoro mostly just serves as a distraction at the moment. Nothing too outrageous. We still can't vassalize Circassia, although after this war I suspect that's gonna change. Can probably give a ruler military command, right? Yes indeed. And we can start sieging down the Great Horde. Actually, one army can go and go up against the Uzbeks. I bet they regret selling that province to me now that we have to fight over it. But we could probably pay off a loan. Let's see. Yes, let's repay the big one. Let's maintain diplomat and let's get admin 4 as well. Is going to be very useful. Admin 4, and let's recapture the province and let's go for their capital. They're probably gonna evade me and not necessarily go for outright combat, since we have the military advantage, just still level 3. So we do have quite a hefty advantage against them and compared to them. But we will I'm the true Tsar. We need their loyalty. Sure, we need their loyalty. Obviously, we need as much loyalty out of everyone as much as possible. We need our loyal subjects. Let's go and beat up this army. Let's continue sieging down. Let's maintain diplomat. And let's continue sieging down everyone that we can siege down. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Let's they're still level 3, yes indeed, so we should have a very clear advantage when going for this battle. Yes, we're completely smashing them, absolutely wonderful. That's just how I like it. We like it when our opponents get completely and absolutely hammered. And knowledge sharing for Circassia. Sure, we can knowledge share, no problem. We can get a little bit of money out of that. And let's go for the... So we're at war with Uzbek, Crimea, and the Great Horde. And who else? We are... And Dulkadir. Where is Dulkadir? Or Dulkadir's over here. They really shouldn't be a big issue. We're just gonna carpet siege the Great Horde, and whatever happens, happens. This army, the mercenary army, can actually go... and probably go up against Crimea at this point, maybe to smash their army so we don't have to bother with them as much anymore. Let's get the Oprechnia progress and let's get some Diplo power. Probably gonna fall behind in Diplo a little bit because I was making the Zlatoust The Zlatoust gold mine, I was trying to move it up a little bit. What didn't quite work out as much as I hoped, but this fight, we managed to lose it, but it was very close. It was a close fight. Doesn't matter. We'll win it back eventually. Let's go. Yeah, we managed to grab this, so let's get some money out of them and let's peace Uzbek out. And this army can go back to supporting the general offensive. Morale of armies +5. Now that's what I like to see. This this air is gonna be very useful for us indeed. Still, now they're level 4, so we have to be a little bit careful, but we can equip the Streltsy and we can get some money out of this. Yeah, sure, let's get some money out of this. It's gonna be, and we can enact a government reform. Let's go for the separate the boyars from the court for the minus influence and plus yearly government power. That's gonna be very useful. It's gonna be very useful indeed. Maybe not as much as the extra manpower would be, but in general we have already quite a few manpower bonuses and we aren't necessarily lacking in manpower that much. Repay multiple loans. Let's continue with the general offensive, and I think you can see that the war is now going in our favor, so I will come back once the war has been won. There we go, the war against the Great Horde has been won, and I think this is the sort of peace deal that I'm gonna take. So we're gonna slice the Great Horde sort of. Well, we're gonna cut off their southern part. Let's core all of this up. And now we can probably, once we recalculate we can probably now actually get these vassals going. Yes, offer vassalization, and then Theodoro offer vassalization as well. That's gonna be very useful. And Trebizond. Well, we can get an alliance, and now they're more than willing to become a vassal. So let's get on subject nations going. That's gonna be very useful. And let's summon a diet. Sure, let's summon a diet, and the Patriarch Novgorod build a church. So let's build a church for Novgorod. We should start getting our churches built, that's for sure. We can get another advisor. That's gonna be fine. And once the church is built, we'll seize some crownland. But for the time being, this is just fine. Relatively speaking, we're doing relatively fine. Oh, look who's popped up. Perm is now back in action. They've probably broken free from Kazan. So let's let's go and deal with them. How long is the truce with Kazan gonna be? It's gonna end 1463, so we still have quite a ways off. For the time being, I'm actually going to start building a spy network on the Livonian Order, and but let's really quickly deal with Perm over here, just so we have, well, we don't have any rivals for the title of Russian, title of Russia. Alright, the time has come, so let's go for invade Novgorod, which will give us a bunch of development, but it's also going to give us a bunch of claims on, on the Livonian Order. So let's go, let's crush them completely, and let's also deal with the rebels, which they are apparently unable to deal with. And we will obviously in this war also annex to Riga, because that's something we're interested in. Riga is a very good province to own. And okay, so looks like our heir has now come to the throne, and we are also we have morale of armies +5, which is very good. He's a young leader, so let's get consolidate Russia as well. I'm not sure if the Russians have... Oh, the Muscovites of war. Okay. So it just doesn't matter. Okay, okay. Well, let's get these bonuses then. It looks like I bugged the game a little bit by forming Russia a little too early, but it doesn't matter. We can just go forward and move on as if nothing happened. That's gonna be exactly what we're gonna go. Operation forces. So we also lost this ability. Very wonderful. So we need 116. Okay, so this army can go then and deal with also the various enemy armies that are rampaging around our our country. But the Opechina forces gives years of separatism -5, harsh treatment cost -25, rebel suppression efficiency plus 100%, all the states influence modifier -10, monthly Opechina progress plus 15. The Opechina is basically a police force of the Tsarist Russia, if I remember correctly from all the various history books about them that I've read. So you're managing to beat back the Teutonic hordes that are coming for us. So let's try and get a cheeky siege on them going. That should be good enough. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. I think, oh, there we go, some more enemies. Let's see, but we're managing to crush them fairly soundly, which is always nice. Equip the Streltsy just for some goodies. Let's get the Opechina progress going, and let's get Reform Sudebny going. That's going to be all very wonderful. So we're completely stomping the Livonians. The only chance the Livonians have against the Russians is if the Russians have a very slow start. Then maybe the whatchamacallit, the Livonians have a little bit of a chance. I might do at some point a Livonian campaign as well, simply because it's, I think, a little bit of an interesting, it's quite an interesting start to be sure. But there we go, the Livonians are fully occupied. We need to get the Teutons out of the war, which I don't think is going to be that difficult. But we still probably need to occupy Königsberg and then their capital, which is Marienburg. We're gonna occupy all the various burgs that come into our way. I'm gonna crush their armies, and we're gonna soundly get rid of them. But Riga has been occupied, which means that we can probably prove a cheeky move like this. Now that's gonna be a little out there, but if we manage to crush them soundly enough, but it should be possible, right? It should be possible. They should be 100%ed. Maybe if I co-belligerented them, they would have been a little more willing to give up. But basically what we're going for in this peace deal is the complete annexation of the Livonian Order and of Riga. We want the entirety of the Baltic to be ours. Mercenary company low on manpower, very sad, but what can you do? I'm definitely gonna probably not be using mercenary companies that much in this playthrough, simply because it's just not all that useful for Russia. Russia is definitely more of a manpower beast than a mercenary company user. There we go, we can now get Riga going. So let's core that. And we can now annex, probably fully annex the Livonians. Yes, the full annexation of the Livonians. Bam, there we go. The Livonians have been fully and absolutely annexed into Russia. And yeah, well, there we go. The Livonians have been annexed. We'll core all of these provinces up in a jiffy. And I think that's where I'm gonna leave it off for today, Kings. Anyway, thanks, Kings, for watching, and I will see you next time.